This is the story of Rumpelstiltskin. You can read along with me in your book. You'll know it is time to turn the page when you hear the gold coin ring, like this. Let's begin now. Once upon a time, so very long ago, there lived a kindly miller and his beautiful daughter. The miller was very proud of his daughter's beauty, and every chance he got, he would tell everyone about her. One day, the king and his men were hunting in the nearby forest. When the miller saw that the king was young and handsome, the miller said to himself, "I must tell the king about my daughter. If he knows of her beauty, he might marry her, and she would live happily ever after. But how can I be sure that they will marry? I know. I will tell a little lie." The miller ran down a hill to the king and his men. He bowed low, saying, "Sire, I have a daughter who is not only beautiful, but she can spin straw into gold."
"Bring this girl to me at once,"
said the king, for though he was a king, he was not very rich, and he needed gold. When the king saw the girl, he was delighted by her beauty, but more so by her ability to spin gold. So the king took the miller and the girl to his castle beyond the forest. When they arrived, the miller's daughter was locked in a castle room that contained only a chair, a spinning wheel, and a pile of straw.
"You have until morning to spin this straw into gold,"
said the king. The boastful miller was locked in another room where he had to stay until the king had all the gold he needed. The miller grew very sad.
"I think I should not have told such a lie. Now I have gotten myself and my lovely daughter into trouble."
Now, of course, the miller's daughter had never spun straw into gold, nor did she know how it was done. She looked at the straw, and she looked at the spinning wheel, and she burst into tears. Suddenly, a voice said,
"Why do you weep, Mistress Miller?"
The girl looked up, and there, in the center of the room, stood a tiny little man. The girl was very surprised.
"Where did you come from?"
"Never you mind, my dear. Tell me why you weep."
And so the miller's daughter told the strange little man of her plight. He listened and then said,
Spin straw into gold, eh? What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?"
The girl offered him her pearl necklace.
"It is very precious to me, but you may have it."
"Done!"
cried the little man, and he jumped to the spinning wheel. Whir, whir! Right before the astonished girl's eyes, the straw was turned into bright gold coins. As the strange little fellow worked, he sang a song to the rhythm of the spinning wheel.
"The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold. Now look around you, mistress fair, the yellow straw lies everywhere. But if it's gold you want to see, your necklace you must give to me. The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold."
By morning, every piece of straw had been spun into golden coins, and the magical man had disappeared. The king was so delighted when he saw all the gold that he decided he must have more.
Guards, fill the room with twice as much straw as before. The girl will spin me twice as much gold.
Once again, the miller's daughter sat alone in the locked room and looked at the huge piles of straw. She began to cry. But poof, the little man appeared again.
What will you give me this time to work my magic?
The girl slipped a ring off her finger.
Will you accept this as payment? It is the most precious thing I own.
A lovely ring!
Danced the little man, and he jumped to the spinning wheel and began to spin. Only this time, because there was twice as much straw as before, the strange little man had to spin much, much faster. The wheel whirred round and round as he sang his spinning song.
The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold. If straw to gold you want to spin, I'll do it for you once again. But if you want this wheel to sing, then I must have your golden ring. The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold.
By morning, the job was done. All the straw was gone, and so was the magical little man. When the king came into the room, he saw great heaps of golden coins.
Oh, miller's daughter, not only are you the most beautiful girl in the land, but also the cleverest. If you will spin me but one more roomful of gold, you shall be my wife.
This time, the room was piled from floor to ceiling with straw. Once more, all alone, the girl sat by the spinning wheel and grew very sad. Suddenly, the funny little man popped into view and again offered his help. However, the girl did not smile, for she had already given the man her necklace and ring.
I have nothing left to give.
She sobbed.
Well, I must get something for my work.
The little man thought hard.
If I spin this straw into gold, you will marry the king. Is that right?
The girl nodded yes.
Then in return for my work, you must promise me your firstborn child.
Well, that was precious payment indeed. But the poor girl was so desperate that she agreed. With that, the little man jumped to the wheel and began spinning faster than ever.
The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold. I see the king has asked for more, their straw from ceiling to the floor. But if this last thing I would do, your firstborn I will take from you. The spinning wheel goes round and round, it hums and sings its spinning sound. My secret never will be told, I'll spin the wheat straw into gold.
The wheel was a blur of speed. All night long, the strange little man spun and spun. As he cleared away one pile of straw, he would replace it with a pile of gold. The miller's daughter grew quite dizzy watching the little man run quickly back and forth with straw and gold. And her eyes couldn't even follow the speed of the wheel anymore. So she shut her eyes tight and soon fell asleep. When she awoke in the morning, the little man was gone, and the room was filled to the ceiling with gold. The king was overcome with delight when he saw the gold shining in the morning light, and the miller's daughter beside it, even more beautiful than the gold. He ordered the marriage ceremonies to begin at once, and the miller to be set free, and that is how the miller's daughter became a queen. In a year's time, the young queen gave birth to a beautiful baby daughter. All the people in the land rejoiced when they heard of the birth of a princess. There was singing and dancing in the streets, and all the houses were covered with flowers and flags. Yet none were more pleased than the happy king and his queen. But one dark, cloudy day, as the queen sat holding her baby, she heard a chuckle behind her. She turned and saw the same little man who had helped her spin straw into gold.
I'll take that babe, my queen,
he said, holding out his hands.
Remember your promise to give me your firstborn child?
Oh, no.
She cried, for she had forgotten their agreement. The queen wept and pleaded with the little man. She offered him bags of gold and jewelry, but he shook his head.
No! A baby is far more precious than any of these things. But I will give you a chance. Tell me, within 3 days, what my name is. If you can guess right, you shall keep the baby and never see me again.
And with that, he disappeared. The next day he was back again, and the queen said all the names she could think of, but the little man just shook his head and went away chuckling. The next day, the queen sent messengers to the village to find the names of all the people there. She said them to the little man when he came, but the little man just shook his head and went away chuckling. On the third day, one of the messengers went to the queen and said,
Last night I came to a high mountain at the edge of the forest, and there I saw a funny little house. In front of the house a fire was burning, and a strange little man was dancing around the fire singing these words. Today I brew, tomorrow I bake. The next day the queen's child I take. For the queen can never guess my fame, that Rumpelstiltskin is my name.
As soon as the queen heard these words, she knew that she was saved. She rewarded the messenger with a sack of gold, then sat down to await the little man. The little man appeared, and the queen began to say more names to him.
Harry and Parry? William Z. Morrissey? Or Pifflesnitz Hopewell Jones?
But it was none of these, as the queen well knew, and the little man held out his arms for the baby. But the queen held her baby tightly.
Wait now, little man. If those names are all wrong, then truly it must be Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, how angry that little man was.
Someone told you! Someone told you!
He screamed and he groaned and he tore at his hair and he pulled at his beard and he started to stamp his feet. And do you know, he stamped so hard, he stamped himself right through the floor. And he has not been seen again from that day to this. And so the king and the queen and their little daughter, and of course the miller too, all lived happily ever after.